My mixed bus philosophy is very much, I look at it like an analog console, where if you had an SSL or you had a Neve or a Focusrite or an API, that center section has a very definitive sound to it. So in my template over the last several years, I've been gradually tweaking what's on my mix bus. And it starts like this, and I'll tweak a little bit on it, but it mainly has a sound to it. Again, kind of like a center section. So there's several things doing not a whole lot. So I'm a big anti-proponent of over compressing on your mix bus or even putting a limiter on there. I think about events like this when I'm talking to people trying to gain knowledge. I generally say don't ever put a limiter on your mix bus. If you're someone like Andrew Sheps or you're someone who you really trust your ears, sure. Especially if you're doing it for that exact reason. You're only trying to shave the occasional transient, but do not do it for loudness. Right? Mix when you're mixing, master when you're mastering. They're two different processes. In the mix process, I have a volume knob. I don't care how quiet things may look. Right? I mean, here's my mix bus. It's relatively quiet. If I go to the loudest part of the song, it's healthy, right? But it's not like me slamming a limiter on it. A limiter is important when you're mastering, but before that stage, you have to further kind of shape your sound before you just throw a limiter on there. So it's not the same thing as throwing a limiter as the last thing on your mix bus. I do a lot of mastering. And the other thing about mastering is a lot of times you want to oversample your limiter. And it takes a lot of CPU. It's another thing you can't really quickly do on your mix bus. So keep it in a separate session.